Hey there, folks. Today we're going to talk about stability. For this, I got to go back in time to a place I visit fairly often, which is my early 20s. Bad shit happened then. At first, good shit happened because I went to college at the age of 19, and me and my brother had an apartment together, and I made a group of nerdy friends, and we hung out quite a bit. Sat in the cafeteria, played cards, shot the shit, that kind of thing. And then, after 2 years of college life, my parents decided that instead of paying for the other 2 years of my education, which is what they promised me my whole life, they would take early retirement instead. And spend the money on themselves. Typical boomers. So I did not get to go. I had to leave my friends behind and go back to my hometown and the house I grew up in and the bedroom I grew up in, and looking back, that damn near killed me, because I underwent a deep psychological collapse. And I spent 2 or 3 months just lying on the couch in the living room, dehydrated, malnourished, unable to keep anything down, utterly wrecked emotionally, and in constant pain physically, and basically just utterly miserable. I just fell apart because I had my progress in life snatched away from me. I was a flower in the middle of blooming when they cut me, and that was devastating to me. All the more so because I was so used to just doing whatever my parents asked of me without questioning it, that at first I didn't even realize anything bad had been done to me. It took me years before I realized I'd been screwed. Anyhow, so I collapsed, and there I was on the couch. And then at some point, I reached my fuck it point. I reached the point where I was just so utterly sick of being sick and miserable and everything that I said no, and I'm going to claw my way back to health. And that's what I did. I made myself eat and drink. I just forced myself to do it. And I slowly got better. I still remember the day when, for the first time in about 6 months, I was actually hungry. And I was like giddy with joy. It felt so good to feel hungry again. To want food. And I basically had to reconstruct myself. I had undergone a total collapse. And I had to make a new version of myself. And this was a version designed to deal with what I had. Which is, my distractions. I had TV, and I had books, and I had video games, and so my life began revolving around those. And funny story, that's the person I've been ever since. That's where the stability comes in, because the version of me I constructed is very stable. I can keep going exactly like I am, living a life that is not really fully living at all, but spending my days playing video games and making my videos and my writing on my blog forever, really. It's that stable. It meets my needs enough that there's no inherent instability to it that would cause me to have to change. I don't want to change. I don't like change. And yet, on the other hand, I do want change. I want my life to become more meaningful, more full of just life, of having a job and relationships and sex and all the things that other people just take for granted. All these things that I have been shut out of by my hikikomori ways all these years. I'm 53 and never had a job, never had a boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. Never lived on my own. Actually, I did for a little while. Anyway, so stability is what I have had. And arguably, I would have been better off in the long run if I'd been a lot less stable. If I'd had some sort of fundamental discontent in me that would make me not happy with continuing on the way I have, video games, blah, blah, blah. And that would have goaded me into making more of myself. But as it is, most of the time I can't do that. I don't do that, at the very least. Most of the time I'm just making, running in my hamster wheel of a life. And feeling vaguely like I'm getting somewhere. Or at the very least, I'm getting exercise. Mental. And so, stability is a wonderful thing. But you can have too much of it. Kind of like coziness that I was talking about yesterday, Too much of a good thing pretty much always becomes a bad thing. So that's my story. How I became the person you see right now. And I mean, I'm not terrible or anything like that. I'm kind of an amazing person, really. But I'm unfulfilled. And I guess I'm going to stay that way until I get utterly sick of it. Like I did with being sick in my early 20s. And decide that I'm going to claw my way out of here. But that would mean giving up the stability of my life now and entering into a life that is fundamentally far more chaotic. And that's hard. I guess that's all for me for today, folks. I will talk to you nice people again tomorrow. Bye-bye.